Hello everybody, me, the Phenomenal Critic. Yes, me, the Phenomenal Critic. I know I have not been doing reviews lately, because I've been too gosh darn lazy and I've been working on school. Sue me. So, what am I doing today? Well, before I even do anything, I have something to tell you all. I actually did a review, but I accidentally deleted it. So now, I'm doing it again. And as you know, I have been tackling the horrible remakes by Michael Bay. However, this one I particularly like. It's got a good story. There's just a couple things wrong with it. So, what am I going to be reviewing? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning. Yes, The Beginning, not the dumb remake. That's not a remake, that's a prequel. So, white out, helps you black out bad memories. So, this movie, like I said, it's a prequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, starting on how they went crazy, why they were cannibals, how it all got started. So the movie begins in Texas when it shows the meat factory, like it normally should, because the family is associated with the slaughterhouse. So, it shows Leatherface's mother working in the slaughterhouse, and she gives birth to him. And the manager, when she's asking for a bathroom break, and then her water breaks, and then she starts peeing blood, is just staring there going like, what? I swear I've seen this before. What is it that I have at home? What are those two? What is that one person in my house that makes my family three? A kid! That's it! She's having a kid! So, when she falls over, he's like, that's what you get for drinking on the job. Zool! She grabs him and then she starts going, ah! Yeah! She has the baby, she croaks, and he's like, what the heck is that? It's a baby, genius! You know, one of those things that, it's a miracle of birth. That's what it is, you moron! I didn't think people in Texas were this stupid! So, he sees that the baby has a skin condition, and they actually do touch on this, but they don't talk about it. Anyway, so Luna May, the mother of the family, is searching through the trash looking for something to eat. She's looking through meat. And what responsible thing did the people who work in the slaughterhouse do with the baby? They threw it away. Wow. Bad parenting! So she picks him up, and everyone's thinking of this. By the way, Filmmaster Adam said this. Cue the Sarah McLachlan music. In the arms of the angels. So she takes him home, and she's taking the paper off him, and she's like, he's beautiful. That's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Well, thanks, Dad. That's the first thing you want to tell a baby. That's like Christopher Titus that's like on Titus, when Ken Titus sees his kid going, you're late! And then the kid goes back into the vagina. So anyway, it kicks off years later when it shows this guy, Dean, rising up out of the water with a knife in his mouth, and these characters were great. Unlike the remake where the characters were useless, all the characters except one were good in this film. You had these two guys, you had the two brothers, Dean and Eric, who are going to Vietnam, and their girlfriends are going to see them off. And as they are going down to Vietnam, they run into Leatherface and his family, and they become the first victims. So, he's trying to enjoy what time he has with his girlfriend, and how he got her a ring that came out of a Cracker Jack box. But, she's like, don't leave me. And he's like, I'm never going to leave you. I love you. And then he picks her up and throws her in that disgusting water. And then it shows like this really hot chick, Bailey, who is annoying as heck in this movie, but she is hot, and I don't know if her tits are real or fake, but dang, she is smoking hot. So, she is giving her boyfriend is tied up on the bed, and she's like, I'm going to use my tongue in ways God never meant for me to use it. So she takes off her shirt and she starts making out on his stomach, and she's like, honey, most men love this. And I was like, yeah, what guy wouldn't love his girlfriend to be doing this? I mean, come on! So he's laying there, and he's upset because he does not want to go to the war. He does not believe in it. He is wanting to go off with Bailey and just roam free together. And this actually makes sense because in this day and age, this is when Texas is going into a bad time because of the war. And a lot of people from Texas are leaving and going other places. But, okay, in this film, Leatherface's name, they give him a name, Tommy. But now, if you watch Texas Chainsaw, he is known as Jedediah. But in this film, he's known as Tommy Hewitt. And they're the Hewitt family, not the Sawyers. So, the place closes down, and they're telling, there's no reason for that big retard to be here. He seems to like it here, sir. Why don't we just let him stay here? You go tell him off. Me? He here, me here. You want me to? Yes, only you. Thanks, you might as well just put a meat rack on his neck and say, hey, kill me, eat me. So he's going like, Hewitt, we closed the place down today. No more animals. No, we're not killing animals anymore. Just get out of here, you big gosh darn animal. And Leatherface looks like he's going to kill this guy, but he's like, no, I'm going to go home. He's probably thinking, what did you call me? You hurt my feelings. Okay, one thing I do like about this film is Leatherface is humanized. That is a good thing. To you people who think humanizing Leatherface is bad, wrong. Because, okay, here's why it will not work. Here's why it will work with Leatherface. Leatherface is human. The reason why it will not work with Jason, Freddy, or Michael is because Jason is a zombie. Michael is the reincarnation of evil itself, and Freddy is a demon. These are monsters. These are villains. Leatherface is a villain. We feel sorry for him because of his skin condition, and even in parts of the film, which a person who messed this movie up by filling it with blood. Again, that's about it. He messed it up. The guy who wrote the script had a backstory for Leatherface and explaining why he's so psychotic, why he's so angry, and why he's why he's the way he is. Because what he had in his script was showing Leatherface being picked on as a kid, being beat up at school, and he was wanting to even do Leatherface at the prom. I mean, okay, that might be stretching a little bit, but it would have worked for the character because you would feel sorry for him. You would feel sorry for this character. But no, the guy who was directing it, he's like, huh, you want to do that? Screw that! Let's just throw a bunch of blood in there. Yeah, when you're making a horror movie and you're trying to make it scary, yes, blood and gore makes it a little scary, a little bit, but when you overdo it, it makes it impossible to watch. Excuse me. This movie is almost impossible to watch. If you have a weak stomach, which when I first seen it, I was terrified because of the blood. The blood was too much. If you hadn't overdone it, this movie would have been great. But no, you made this movie a mess, man. I forget your name, but my gosh, you are a talentless hack who thinks blood and gore is everything. It is not. I watched on YouTube the real story of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, of how the movies got started, and he kept saying, add more blood, add more blood, add more blood. That doesn't make the movie scary. It just makes it impossible to watch. Gosh, I need another drink. Alright, so, anyway, it shows them getting out of the hotel. It shows them getting out of the hotel, and he's like, you better get one good look at that, because that's the last time you're ever going to see this hotel. Yeah, no joke. So he's saying we're going to be sleeping in the car for a few days, so when they're on the road, they run into these bikers. And this town is being overrun by bikers and stuff like that because, you know, the war with Vietnam. And so when they're on the road, they run into this motorcycle gang, and these are legit bad motorcycle gang. If you stare at them wrong, they will kill you for blinking wrong. And they're like, no, guys, this is serious. Do not stare at them. And they start scaring them and go like, stop! You're hurting our car! Stop it! What do you want? And then it shows the main leader of the gang looking at him. And then a chick looks at him and goes like, eh. So then they drive off, and then it shows Leatherface coming back down to the meat factory and doing actually a scene from the original using a sledgehammer by killing his boss. And the guy's dialing 911, and he's like, hello, operator. Ah! Ah! I'm sorry, man, you're going to have to speak up. Ah! And then all of a sudden he's like, I'm not afraid of you. Well, bam! Fatality. Hammer. So, yeah. Then Leatherface is looking around for more weapons to take home. He's like, I should pack up my stuff. Oh my gosh, she's the most beautiful thing I ever seen. He picks up the chainsaw, and then he's walking down the road. And so then we get the main sheriff coming down to pick up. His name's Charlie, but he's the sheriff. And the guy who played him, he is one of the most. He is a great actor, but he can be scary as heck. He can be really intimidating. And so when he's picking him up, saying your nephew has committed a murder, I'm going to need your help to apprehend him if something bad goes wrong. So then he's talking to him about how you didn't raise that thing right. If you had raised that animal to be a fine citizen, we wouldn't be taking this trip right now. He's retarded. He ain't retarded. He's just misunderstood. That is true. He is not retarded. He is just misunderstood. But because he looks like a freaking nature, everyone calls him an animal. And it pisses him off, and he's just like, yo, I'm gonna... Yeah. So then, the cop's like, seeing what you did back there, Hewitt, give me that weapon. He's like, Sheriff, I think we got a problem. Bang. He kills the sheriff. Dang, I just killed the whole sheriff's department. I wonder what that was like. So then, he takes Tommy back home, and he's setting up things as the sheriff. And then, when he takes the cop home, he makes a speech saying, that slaughterhouse has fed our family for generations and done more for this town than anyone ever know. And, we're on our own now, people. Know, like, how everyone's going away. And he's like, we will rise above it all. People not may remember what we say here tonight, but they're sure as heck going to remember what we're going to do. And he said, thanks for the good sheriff here. We're not ever going to starve again. And this brings a good example of why they are cannibals. In the remake, they are cannibals, but they never eat anybody. In this one, it explains why they became cannibals. Yeah, they just screw welfare. They become cannibals out of desperation, eating other people because they have no choice. So they start doing that, and then it gets to where he's the sheriff now, so he's just waiting for someone to come by. So then they go to this gas station, and Bailey tells how him and Dean are not going to go to Vietnam. They're going to go to Mexico. And Chris even says, do it. Get away from this war. And Bailey even asks, well, why are you letting Eric? Because it's him. The war is him. And then so they run into the bikers, and the bikers start to scare them, and then it was like, here, can we just go on ahead and get out of here? It's nothing like the one that they thought it was, because apparently there was one in California. So they are driving off, and then this chick starts shooting at the car, and then they wreck, and then the sheriff comes by, and she's like, all right, play this cool, I won't kill you. And then she's like, I'm glad you're here, Chef. Oh, I bet you are. Bang, kills the biker chick, and then he's like, you kids, okay, I need you to get out of the freaking car. And Chrissy gets thrown out of the car. And so, the sheriff, who is being very intimidating, saying, you say one more word, I'm going to blow your freaking head off. I was like, whoa. Man, law enforcement in Texas is weird and homicidal. So then, he calls Monty, the Uncle Monty, to come pick up the disaster and stuff. And how he finds Dean's Dean burns his draft card, and Eric finds it. Eric finds out what he's doing. He's like, I'm not going. I have no problem with these people. He's like, you don't think I hear you at night? What you've done over there? How can you want that from me? And he said, I'm not. Why do you think I'm going? I'm going back for you. Eric has already been to Vietnam. Dean hasn't. Dean was drafted. Eric re-enlisted to watch after his brother. Dean did not know that. Dean just thought he was drafted too. But Eric was going to look after his brother. And so, when the sheriff finds the burnt draft card, Eric takes Dean's place. And then, when they get to the house, he hangs up Eric and Dean, and he sprays them with water. And when he finds out that the burnt draft card was one of theirs, he starts saying, you're a traitor to the country, and then they start going crazy and beating the living crap out of him. But then when he says, I'm Dean, it was my draft card, and then he puts plastic around Eric's face and almost suffocates him to death. But then he cuts Dean free, and he says, now when I was in the war, sometimes it was so bad that when we didn't have food, we had to eat people. So he said, are you going to be the one that gets ate, or are you going to be the one that goes free? I'm going to give you a chance to do 20 push-ups, and you can go free. And something that I did, that they really went all out in this film. The guy who played the sheriff talked about how he was really hitting him. And he wasn't doing it, like how he hated him. But in this film, they were real. He was stomping him in the back and hitting him with the nightstick. He actually said, I was actually hitting him. And they even used a real chainsaw. They actually had the chain on the saw, and everything they were doing was real, except the killing people part. But when he's doing the push-ups, he's hitting him, and he said, you do 20 push-ups, I'll let you go. And so he does 20 push-ups, and then he starts beating him on some more, and the guy says, I'm going to freaking kill you. And then he says, my money says he ain't going anywhere. And then Dean gets free, while it shows the fat tea lady, and she serves no purpose in this film. She's just there for controversy, which actually I don't think she's famous, period. So, Chrissy, being smart and not dumb, goes for help instead of just rushing in after the family. She goes for help, she gets to the house, and she's smart. She's not stupid. Unlike that other girl in the remake, forget you. You are stupid. You suck. So, Bailey's tied to the table, and when they get free, they untie Bailey and they push the fat chick up against the wall. I was like, you're too fat. And like she couldn't even get up. She was going like this. It was like, oh, come on, I can do it. I can get up. I can get. And they push her up against the door. And she's like, and so they're getting out, and he's calling for Tommy. And by the way, Tommy has like this big thing on his face to cover up his skin condition. And so when they run away, Bailey gets in the car. I'm thinking, yeah, she's going to get away. Tommy gets the hook, and he freaking hooks her and pulls her out. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, he hooked her. He definitely knows how to catch him. Oh, wait, hold on. No, that was a bad joke. Hold on. Hook, line, and sinker. So then, every time Bailey tries to get away, the punishment is much worse for her. I ain't kidding. And then, like, when they're trying to get away, the sheriff points the gun to Eric's head, and he's like, do it, you freaking girl. You don't have the balls to do it. You weren't a man enough to do it. And then, all of a sudden, he gets knocked out, and then he's like, I ain't even done with you. You said you called me a pussy? Well, my nephew Tommy here isn't a pussy. Why don't you play with him for a while? So he takes him down to the basement, while when Dean ran away, he got his foot caught in a bear trap. So the biker goes in the house, finds Uncle Monty, shoots his knee, and says, where's the girl? And the biker chick girl's already been killed, or she's already dead, and you see what happened to her in the basement. And when he finds the sheriff, he's like, where's the girl? Where's the girl? There she is. That ain't her. Crap. It ain't her. Oh, man, trust me, you do not want to see the other body. You do not want to see the other one. And so then, while Chrissy's trying to find a way, she hears her boyfriend yelling for help. She's trying to get in there, and then when Leatherface opens the door, he doesn't see her. She gets down there, and she sees what he's done to him. He's scarred up his arm and stuff. And he's like, just cut it off. I can't even feel it. I can't feel it. Just cut it off. I want to get out of here. And so then the biker gets attacked by Leatherface, and he's laying on the chainsaw. And then Sheriff Hoyt's like, come on, start that thing up. So when he starts it up, he's sawing him up like, half and half. Yes, I know corny jokes. It's me. I'm funny. So, whoa, bug. So anyway, after that, he goes back downstairs, and Chrissy hides, and he's messing with Dean's face, going, and he's like, no, you don't have to do this, chainsaw. He sticks the chainsaw in the dude's stomach, and then he cuts off the face, and then he pulls the face off, and then he makes the first mask. And then, when they're going to do surgery on Uncle Monty, he's like, come on up here. I like your new face. And then he looks at him, and then all of a sudden, I was like, yeah, that is Leatherface. That is freaking awesome. That is Leatherface. That's gross, but it's Leatherface. And and again, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre never happened. As I say, based on true story, bullcrap. It is based on Ed Gein, a psycho person who had an abusive mother who I think he had sexual relations with his mom, killed women, cut off their skin, and wore it. That's how they got the thing for Leatherface. And he used a saw once, but it wasn't even a chainsaw. It was a freaking saw that you see at a hardware store where you push wood up against to cut it in half. That's the real story of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. No chainsaw. Saw you push wood into. That's it. Anyway, so then, they're setting things, they cut off, what's really funny is, he's like, now, Uncle Monty, you know I love you, you know I always do what's right by you, right? Yeah. Alright, this ain't gonna hurt much. So he's like, Mom, I need you to hold down Uncle Monty. Why? Because he ain't gonna like this. Wait, what? So then he cuts off the leg. He's like, what'd you do that for? Aw, man, that's sloppy. Even them out. What? They cut off his other leg. And so then, while he is fixing up the legs, Chrissy runs in to Bailey. And Bailey's laying there on the, and the sheriff's kissing her going like, I love you. And right after he says it, she is screaming. She's like, this guy's probably gonna molest me. I'm at the mercy of cannibals. Oh, my life is horrible. So then when Chrissy's trying to get her free, she's like, I know you're here. I'll tell Mama to fix another plate. You can stay, right? You can stay. So, and like I said, whenever Bailey tries to escape, it's just worse for her. It is worse. Oh, the chick, Luna May actually does something in this film. When she is washing the blood off Bailey, she is singing to her, and it is creepy as heck. She's like, we gotta get you ready for company. You don't want to be dirty when we have company, do you? And she's singing Hush Little Baby, Don't say a word. And then when they go to the dinner table scene, now this scene I actually like, because in the remake, this was not in the remake. But in this one it was. They actually went back to their roots and made it. They made it right. With the chick in the first one being tied down to the table and being forced, and they have everyone at the table. They have Uncle Monty, they have Luna May, and they have the sheriff, they have Dean, they have Bailey, and they have Chrissy. And, Dean's passed out from the pain. Bailey's just, moving around, I think at this point she doesn't even care. She's like, you know what, I'm probably going to die anyway. And so Luna May's cutting her hair, and so I need you to go help with Uncle Monty. After they pray, of course. And so, Mama, I don't think this one likes your cooking. That's right, because this one's going to be shucking her food through a straw for a long time now. And then when Leatherface comes in, she doesn't cry around those people. But when Leatherface gets in, she's like... And then Luna May says, set her free, child. Cuts her throat. And then she's like, I got something... Bug. Anyway, so she's like... I got a question to ask. It involves a family tree, more of a tradition, if you will. You guys bang all your cousins or just the ones you find attractive? And he's like, you blasphemist! You're going to pay for your sins, especially you! So then, Leatherface says, take her upstairs. She takes a knife, she stabs Leatherface in the neck. Dang! Nope, dang it. Yeah. I'll pick that up later. Okay, so... Dang it. So, after that, she gets away. Dean wakes up, bangs the sheriff's head on the counter. Or not on the counter, on the floor. And Leatherface is chasing after her. Now, the difference between Chrissy and What's-Her-Face in the remake is Chrissy is smart because she uses battle tactics that Eric taught her to get the jump on Leatherface. She hides in a thing of blood where they would slaughter the cows. She jumps up, she stabs Leatherface in the neck. And then when Dean's trying to pick her up and carry her away, be the hero, Leatherface stabs him with the chainsaw. She gets in the car and she's driving. And when she thinks she's getting away, this movie had the kahunas. This movie went all out and had no survivors. And that was very smart. Having no survivors was the right way to go. And so then, after that, a cop is killed. And then it does the beginning of the movie, like how it did with the original, talking about it. And it says from 1963 to 1970, no. It was from 1969 to 1973. The Hewitt family murdered 33 people. and in the most gruesome murder of all time, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, movie ends. Now, besides the fact that this film was too bloody, the story was good. If the guy who made it too bloody hadn't messed it up, this film could have been good. This film could have been great. But if you're going to watch a Platinum Dunes remake, forget watching the remake. Screw the remake. Just watch that one. And now, something that is also very good are the deleted scenes, except for the one with the hotel. That one's not really that good. But the hotel gives us 3 alternate endings and a scene of Charlie, the sheriff, protecting Tommy, but you don't see what he does. But the endings were... what was the first one? Oh, the first ending is when she gets in the car and Leatherface just kills her when she's in the car before she even drives off. And then we get a true classic of people calling the police saying, hey, my daughter's gone missing, my daughter's not here when she was supposed to be, my husband's gone missing, something's going on, something's happening. And then you see something that connects with the remake, with a van that was missing and all the cars and stuff. They did that really well. And then another ending was with Leatherface stabbing her with a knife instead. And then the other one was the same thing with the chainsaw, but when he got out of the car, there was no talking, nothing. It just did it in text. Like it did it like how they did in the original, but just not like the full screen thing. But guys, I'm telling you, if you really want a good Platinum Dunes film, this is one I would recommend. Screw the remake. Just watch this, guys. I'm the Phenomenal Critic. I'm going to get this review up, and I'm not going to delete it, so I'm hoping you check it out. Please comment and subscribe what you think, and have a good night.